That's incredible. Where do you see automotive and where do you see Mercedes-Benz over the next 5 years? Where do you think consumers are going to go? Like, you think it's going to be electric? You feel people are going to spend more on this? You are you positive about it? Or with this current war situation, you think it might be cyclical a little bit?
So, if I look at the India story and merge it with what we are doing globally, we have 40 odd product fireworks coming up. The CLA is the first one and followed by other cars. Most of them are electric. 13 billion in invest. Last week I was in Stuttgart. The kind of cars that's coming is mind blowing from a product standpoint. Not because I work for the brand, but being in the automotive industry, you can feel
Sense, yeah.
what's coming up. But then this electrification is led by firstly the government agenda of decarbonizing it. So you can say that that took a bit of backseat. What's happening in the US, etc. Let's go for fossil fuel. And also electrified cars are a bit more expensive compared to
Mm.
combustion engines. So till the time there is no government incentive, thankfully in India we have a lower GST, so we are able to price electric cars compared to combustion engines. But I think the next generation electric cars which are now coming, which is the Gen 3, range is sorted, the performance is there. You don't miss the combustion engine as much because of the maybe a synthetic sound that you get in the car of a car. I just experienced some of that. It is unbelievable in terms of technology what they have done. So it ticks all the boxes why combustion engine customers were not shifting to EVs. I think the current situation, geopolitical situation, may tend some customers to think even further because of the current crisis. Maybe EVs are better, but the other is the practical issues in India: charging in residential apartments, getting the slot. We have tried to have our own charging ecosystem now, seamless charging. We have set up high performance chargers. So the good part of us is we will offer everything to customer. Let the market decide the pace of transformation, because if you push one technology, then you end up owning it a bit more than what it should be. So here, because we are not the lone stakeholders, there is government who has to decide the pace of decarbonization. For example, in India, some states offer zero road tax, some states
Mm.
offer 20%. So this can't be a policy framework where, so if the government decides by 2030 it should be all EV or
Mm.
maybe 50% EV, we are ready, we have the portfolio. If the consumer decides that yes, I am now the thing about EV is most of them say my next car will be an EV. Abhi to main le leta. So
Abhi main, it's
let me
evolving so quickly, no?
let it evolve. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guinea pig maybe, or I don't want to take the leap of faith and try to get into a new technology or stuff. But it's changing. You can see a rapid acceleration. We used to do 1 to 2%. Now 7-8% of our sales are EV, and it's growing. I think the new portfolio coming, it will further grow significantly. So it's a matter of time. Technology is here to stay. The next gen cars will surprise the customer, and maybe that will bring more EV adopters to the segment than the previous generation cars.
Yeah. And do you see AI, for example, like we were talking about AI over lunch as well, internally within your org structures and also within the way you are innovating and the technology that goes into your cars, self-driving and otherwise. Do you see that changing? Let's talk about these in two separate ways. Like for example, org. How is your org becoming more productive slash more innovative with use of AI? Like, are you seeing that happen?
So the car is a simpler answer, because we have this partnership with NVIDIA. We were one of the first to get the NVIDIA chipsets in the car. Most of the cars have supercomputers loaded now for not computing power required today, but for tomorrow. Already factoring AI, autonomous, ADAS, safety, many things, and the car becomes your virtual assistant, because today conversational AI and to have a chat with the car as a companion is the way to go. So that's all done, and you can already see it in current cars, and that will evolve.
Yeah.
It sets up routines, it changes lights, air conditioning based on your preferences, learning from you. Now, coming to org and the usage, I think there are different use cases on AI. The way we see is, one is on the development side, which is to do with, can we reduce time to market with designs, better prototyping, digital twins, and many things using AI simulating it. The second is on the production floor itself, using AI to automate much more and more, also find defects much earlier and make it more robust. And the third is in the sales and marketing area, right? Here, the low-hanging fruit is the marketing area. All those AI that you can get use cases, trying to make creatives by dovetailing A and B and C. I think that's one. But overall, I still feel the efficiency layer is still not touched. But what is happening now, if you ask our organization, we are moving away from dashboard culture. There was a time data was so big, everybody used to build dashboards after dashboards after dashboards. Now it's a pity, because dashboards are built by the intellect of that person who feels this is the data I
Yeah.
need to do my business.
Yeah.
Today with AI, if the data is in the right setup, you can ask the right questions, and based on that you can get much faster answers with an assistance from AI.
Yeah.
Sales forecasting to looking at trends and patterns, and also for ordering and for production planning. I think that's a lot of work. We are already on that journey. To get that mindset to use at each time, why shouldn't I go back to an AI and also check? So if I made a strategy presentation, shouldn't I put it in the AI and check once, because it will only help me. That I think still is not across prevailing in the organization, or muscle memory that let me use it as an assistant. And the fear factor is only job replacements, AI is coming up. So it's
Yeah.
more getting negative when you get into the HR side of things and the organizational deployment to say, are they getting AI to replace me? The
Yeah.
answer is no. It is to improve your productivity. Maybe we can do even better. We can be
Yeah.
on a different growth curve with what we could have done with the usage of AI. So this is more of a cultural change and understanding and adopting than I think that saying, can we replace now 10 people with bots?
No, I agree. In fact, while Umesh and Rishikesh were showing us around the assembly line and the body shop, like my mind immediately went to making in India, right? Like
Yeah,
we should, and automotive has actually played a very leading role,
no
not only
doubt.
Mercedes, like we've from the beginning, and Pune especially, right?
True, true. It's a hub.
It's a hub, and especially now where we are seeing a rupee that is vulnerable to dollar and
Yeah, yeah.
to global macro situations. Uh, Frankly, I feel like we are now with the government, entrepreneurs, companies like yours, which teaches, yourself, Apple, some of these folks who are like really putting in innovative manufacturing in India. I am of the opinion that entrepreneurs who are building earlier when I started, we were like, okay, we have India has a trading mindset where
Yeah, yeah, spot on.
we are shopkeepers, right? We're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
we'll buy, we'll add some value, we'll
And
sell,
sell.
right? But can we make and sell? Because if we are able to bring dollars in the country, that will, in my view, be the biggest growth for GDP from 4 trillion to 10 trillion. Biggest. And you have to like teach us how to do that. Now you make amazing cars, we make razors and trimmers. Naya makes, air fryers, someone else is making something else. We all have to make stuff, but we have all, and I think China went through that 20 years back,
But
where
the
we have to
difference,
learn how to
Shantanu,
learn.
here is our education system to start with itself. Because, the core for making things and not just adding value is innovation. For a manufacturing, and I think there are two things happening. From the policy framework side, acting, it's ironic when the world is closing borders, we are opening. For a long enough, we said make in India so much for India. Now it's great we are saying make in India for the world,
Yeah,
but the world was always close to us because we were close to the world.
yeah,
So now I think with a matured ecosystem, you look at the FTAs, the EU FTA or the UK FTA, that clearly now shows the confidence as India.
yes,
That now let's open up, let them, everyone come in, we also participate in the
yes,
economy. I think that's a great step. We can't undermine it's like the liberalization movement of 91. Unfortunately, it's plagued by the current geopolitical
yeah.
setup, but if you see things in perspective, it is that next flip
Oh, you
now.
think so?
We can, yeah, for sure, because you are spot on to say, I keep saying, by making in India and selling in India, it's like a family having money and you are only changing the
Circulating
money
it, yeah.
within the family. But the moment you get the dollars in, the euros in from out, which needs capex investment, or we are able to sell goods and services and bring,
Yeah.
that's where the per capita GDP, the income level of India, and this is the secret sauce of China and others who just exported and they got a lot of wealth in the country. Situation has changed. We cannot replicate one model or other model. India has its own model which is working. But on that fundamental layer, it's also the innovation layer. Manufacturing ecosystem and something, you cannot be a rate arbitrage country always. Just a labor arbitrage, cheap labor, so I'll make something cheaper than B market just because as the economy grows, your labor arbitrage will go away
Grow, yeah.
because per capita is growing. So this can't be your key sauce,
It's
secret
already
sauce.
happening. It's
It's
already
already
happening.
happening on many sectors. The second source was That's why this back office topic of just trying to cater on a low cost market kind of a thinking can't work. The next was to say that what can we innovate now? What can we give to the world out of India
Yeah.
in terms of engineering services or in terms of all the innovation? And there, if you see the number of research papers that we publish, if you see the way the schooling education system, also lack of experience, there is no exposure to the corporate world for people when they are studying. All of this takes away the entrepreneurship in a way of innovating it. So
Yeah.
innovation is the core to build, and successful businesses are, because you will only get the risk delta or the when you take that risk,
Yeah.
when otherwise you are a commodity, and then to get that you can sweat it out by scale. There are good examples in India. I think one of the biggest players or private companies in India are scale companies. They
Yeah.
they said, I may not innovate, but I may go on scale on any
Yeah.
topic, and that brings my price and the way I operate. But not possible for everyone, and that's, I think. But this generation should change. I still feel I keep fascinated by your episodes and what you guys do. As such, I've been following it since last year. I think also you inspire a lot of generation in terms of what content and the discussions that you do. But I think we have to get on a much more faster cycle and
Yeah.
have that mindset. We make it for India and for the world.